Guys, here is a video on the equation of a circle, and I love this. This is a program called GeoGebra, and it just gives you a visual of what we just drew out as the standard equation. So this is the standard equation of a circle: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Remember, h comma k is the center. Note, if I look over here at this circle, my center is 0, 0. My radius is 5. So that means that this equation is, because remember, it's x minus h. Well, h is 0. So x minus 0 is just x. Y minus 0 is just y. So the equation of this circle is x squared plus y squared equals 25. Well, watch what we're going to do. Because r is 5, 5 squared, 25. Watch this. If I take this little slider and watch, I'm going to move it to the right. What's going on with my circle? It's moving. It's moving to the right. I'm here. Notice, look at the equation of my circle. It's x minus 8 squared. So that minus 8, it literally moved it over to the right. You can think of it's backwards because minus makes it go to the right. You would think up and down, but it's just different because of the equation. And my k, let's move that. I moved it down, but notice it's positive, so it's kind of backwards. Down is positive, up would be negative. Okay, this just kind of gives you a visual, and if I move this r, it makes my circle bigger or smaller because that's just the radius of my circle. That's it. So let's move it over here. Let's move this up. You can move it around, get the point, just so you can get a visual of this. And see, when it's in standard form, it's a no-brainer. It's nothing to do. It's really easy to sketch the graph of the equation in standard form. Okay? But the challenge is when they don't give us an equation in standard form. So now we need to learn how to do something called completing the square. Okay, get ready. All right, I gotta find my whiteboard. Where is it? Okay, cool. All right, so this is what some of your equations will look like that you'll get. Okay, so I need to complete the square. This is a process. You may have never seen this before in your life. If you haven't, it's okay. You're gonna learn it now, okay? So if you need to pause the video, let's pause it. Write this down. So we're gonna go really slow and get this. We got it. All right, so step one. I wrote out some steps over here. But you got to know what to do in the steps. So steps are nothing if it doesn't make sense to what I'm trying to say. So all right, first is group x's and y's in constants on separate sides of the equal sign. What I'm referring to, notice I got x squared, I got 8y. I want to write that together, and I always put your x's first. This just makes it neat. X squared plus 8y. Okay, my y's I'm going to put together. Plus y squared minus 6y, and this 16 is positive on the left. I want to move it to the right side of my equation. So it's going to become equals, and I'll make this negative 16. Okay, so far so good. Great. All right, next. Number 2. That's what I meant by number 1. Okay, I think that wasn't bad. So number 2, it says half the x or y term and square it, then add it to both sides. Well, wait a minute, I made a mistake. I made a mistake on writing my equation. What's wrong with me? Don't answer that. That should be a 6x. This is wrong. That should be x. And this should be x. So I probably should do the whole video over, but I don't want to. So I'm just going to erase this and start from here. See, the great thing about videos is if you see something you don't like, just zoom through it. Okay, so take 2. Sorry about that. Just erase it. Stop complaining if you are complaining. All right. So now I'm going to put my x's together. So I'm going to have x squared minus 6x plus y squared plus 8y equals, again, bring that 16 over, negative 16. Okay? Next, number 2 says take half the x or y term and square it. So look at your x term, which is -6. I'm going to go over here to the right to write this down. So I'm going to take -6 divided by 2. That's what it means by taking half. -6 divided by 2 is -3. Then square it. That's going to give me 9. You're going to be adding this to both sides of the equation. Okay, let's complete the square and the 8 next. So now you're going to go 8 divided by 2, which is 4. And remember, you can always pause if it's going too fast. Square it. 4 squared is 16. You're going to be adding this to both sides of the equation. Let's change the color so just because I want to. All right. So now I'm going to go x squared minus 6x. Now watch this. Notice this, I squared this and half it and squared it was my 9. I'm going to add it here. Plus, now I'm going to go y squared plus 8y plus, well, this is my half and squared here. I'm going to add the 16 here. Equals, but remember, in any equation, whatever you do to the left, you have to do to the right. So I'm going to write down my -16, but I have to add 9 and add 16 because I added both of those. And let me just underline those for the sake of this and this, and I added these on both sides of my equation. Everybody okay? Hopefully. So now I need to factor. If y'all remember how to factor, I'm going to factor x squared minus 6x plus 9. That one's going to be 2 sets of parentheses. X and x. Hope y'all remember how to factor. What times what is 9 that adds it to give you -6? Let me say that again. What times what do you multiply to get 9? That when you add it, it gives you -6. It's going to be -3. This is also -3. If I multiply this back out, it'll give me this same factor up here. But I want you to notice something. Over here, where you took the half, that's going to be the number every time. Just a note. So you can do that either way you want to think about it. This I can rewrite as x minus 3 squared plus, complete the square. I'm going to do this, 2 sets of parentheses. You may not even want to go through this. Some of y'all already skipped to the last step. You know, this is y, and this is y. What times what is 16 and add to give you 8? Well, it's 4 and 4, but guess what? It's that number right here. You took half of that I didn't put parentheses around. All right, so that's plus 4 and plus 4. Well, I'm going to rewrite that as y plus 4 squared equals, well, on the right side, I just need to add those. Notice you got -16 plus 16. That's 0. That cancels. So now I have 9. That's it. What's my center? Somebody say it. You can do it. My center is 3, comma, -4. And my radius, remember this 9 is r squared. So my radius is equal to 3. And that's it. That's video number 2. And hopefully this helps on completing the square. Now it's time to practice. You have an assignment in your textbook that you're going to finish and turn in. All right. See ya.